taint the world and make it unfair and so dark. You've robbed me of my innocence and my youth. You've made me an antisocial person. And today I can look at you without being afraid. You brought pain so deep in my life that I never knew one can feel. You deserve an execution, the death penalty, if it were my choice. I hope you do not ever have the option of seeing daylight again. You deserve to get a sentencing that is so hurtful to you that I hope it makes you cry in front of us. I want to see you cry. You deserve to feel how you made me feel, them feel, and the ones who are so fearful of coming today.
I feel sorry for you saying I'm the one, you don't even know who the person was, don't even know what the person looked like. All these other people pick different people out and turn around and pick me out. It's just like it was all set up from the beginning. I'm not no serial sexual person as the person described me as.
Mr. Powell, you are indeed a serial rapist. You prey on the vulnerable. At this point in my career, Mr. Powell, it is difficult to shock the conscience of the court. But you have managed to do so. Your crime spree ends now.
GC bringing you some news you can use. Who we have in solitary confinement today, locked up, R.A.P.E.D. Powell. Y'all seen what just happened. Watch the video all the way through. You gonna learn something. Make sure you subscribe. I'm not gonna take up your time. Let's go. A woman stood and stared straight at the man who tainted her world and made it dark when he terrorized, robbed, and sexually assaulted her and her male companion while at Route 1 Motel 6. Years ago suggested his sentence should be execution. I hope you don't have the option to see daylight again, she said, adding she hopes his sentence would make him cry as much as the victims have. The woman who 8 victims, 4 women and 4 men, called R.A.P.E.D. Powell a monster as she spoke in the crowded courtroom where Powell was sentenced to 148 years in state prison. During the nearly 2-hour proceeding, the woman was one of 4 victims who spoke at the sentencing for Powell, who was convicted in March of 60 counts, including 24 counts of aggravated sexual assault in connection with forcing his way into motel rooms and forcing couples to have sex at gunpoint, then locking the men in the bathrooms and sexually assaulting the women. The woman who addressed the court said the attack has made her fearful as a person, robbing her of her young social butterfly she once was. I'm afraid of people and what they are doing. I focus on work, family, and I go straight home, said the woman, who was attacked March 2012 at the Swan Motel in Linden. Another woman sent a letter read by the judge explaining how the brutal assault on Easter Sunday 2012 changed her life forever by taking away her dignity and self-worth. She became more suicidal and suffers from panic attacks, self-mutilation, and nightmares. She said Powell threatened to kill her and go after her family if she told anyone. She asked the judge to sentence Powell to a life sentence in prison. The woman who spoke in court, however, also displayed her resilience. I'm standing up today. I won't allow that one man who controlled me, she said. You made your bed. now you lie in it. Powell, 43, of Elizabeth, a father of 2 children, who prosecutors said has been involved in crime since the age of 14. He has spent about 14 years of his adult life for violent crime, meanwhile maintained his innocence. In due time, proof will come out. I'm innocent, said Powell, who argued he didn't get a fair trial. But Union County Superior Court Judge Robert Kirsch told Powell his reign of terror ends today, adding his DNA was extracted from a rape kit. 5 of 8 victims identified him. His former girlfriend turned over the mask and black jacket he wore, the crimes and police found, and the handgun. There was overwhelming proof set forth in the trial. Mr. Powell, you are indeed a serial rapist, Kirsch said. Union County Prosecutor's Office Special Victims Unit Supervisor Caroline Lola, who tried the case with an assistant prosecutor, Tracy Boyd, sought out 200 years in prison term for Powell, noting the crimes were independent of each other. But Powell's attorney, Aaron Cook, working with the Judge King, sought out 80 years of a prison term, arguing the sentence should be based on each couple, not as individuals. Kirsch, however, ruled the sentence would be based on each individual victim. Each individual victim who was traumatized, independent of what was happening to their companion. The judge said, noting each man locked in the bathroom had to listen to their partner being raped and assaulted. That is hard to wrap one's arm around, not knowing if it will end in death. In addition to the 24 counts of first-degree aggravated sexual assault, Powell also was convicted in March of 12 counts of sexual assault, 8 counts of robbery, first-degree crime, 4 counts of burglary, a second-degree crime, and 12 weapons offenses. The verdict was reached following the 8-week trial before Kirsch. The jury deliberated 3.5 days. During the 6-week period, starting in March 2012, Powell began targeting couples checking into motels along Route 1 and 9 in Linden and Elizabeth by force his way into motel rooms and ordered the couples to engage in sex acts at gunpoint before ordering the men into the bathroom while Powell sexually assaulted the women. During a joint investigation by the prosecutor's Office Sex Crimes Unit, now known as the Special Victims Unit, Linden and Elizabeth, police assisted by the Union County Sheriff's Office and Union County Police Department, DNA and other forensic evidence resulted in Powell being identified as the suspect. He was arrested April 16, 2012 at Springfield Municipal Court, where he was responding to a traffic summons. 3 of the incidents occurred at the Swan Motel in Linden, while the others occurred at the Bennett Motel, now called the Bentley, in Linden, and in the Spring Lane Motel and Royal Motel, both in Elizabeth. Powell was a vicious man. He had raped couples, put the men in the restroom, and had sex with their girls. I think Powell deserved everything that he got, and he had got 148 years in prison. I personally believe he should have got the death penalty. These people went through a lot, suffered from a lot, and their lives will never be the same again because of Paul. He also made it seem like the victims was making up all the stories that came out as if he had nothing to do with anything. You will hear his testimony, but just like he's a criminal, he's full of crap, and he's a liar. I'm just glad that he's not in the streets no more, because he could have done more and more people like this. These kind of guys scare me, and it's a lot more out here that need to be caught. So y'all tell me what's y'all thoughts. Like, share, and leave a comment. And if you have any topics you want me to talk about, just drop it, and I will bring you some news you can use.